At the dawn of the 1st century AD, the Roman Republic lay in ashes, replaced by the iron hand of Augustus, Rome's first emperor. Following years of brutal civil wars, Augustus restored order, introducing an era known as the Pax Romana, a peace that brought stability to most of the empire. But on Rome's northern frontier, the dark forests and misty valleys of Germania held dangers yet unknown. Rome had long viewed the lands beyond the Rhine as wild and treacherous. Augustus saw Germania as both a threat and an opportunity, ordering his generals to push Roman control deeper into these territories. His ambitions turned Germania into a contested frontier where loyalty was bought and betrayal thrived. In 12 BC, Augustus's trusted commander, Marcus Agrippa, died abruptly, leaving his campaign incomplete. His stepson Drusus bravely continued the fight, penetrating deep into Germania, winning glory and territory, only to tragically perish after falling from his horse. Tiberius, Augustus's stern and able stepson, stepped into Drusus's role, ruthlessly subjugating tribes and nearly transforming Germania into a Roman province. Among the conquered tribes were the Cherusei, whose chieftain's son, Arminius, was taken to Rome as a hostage. There, Arminius was immersed in Roman culture, educated in Latin, trained in warfare, and honored with citizenship. Despite his Roman accolades, his heart remained tied to the untamed forests of his homeland. By 6 AD, Tiberius was distracted by a massive rebellion in Illyricum. Publius Quinctilius Verus, a competent administrator but inexperienced soldier, took command in Germania. Under Verus, Arminius served as a trusted advisor, masking his resentment behind a facade of loyalty. Over time, however, Arminius secretly orchestrated a rebellion, uniting discontented tribes under a common banner of freedom. As the summer of 9 AD approached its end, Verus, oblivious to the gathering storm, was lured deep into Germanic territory by carefully staged reports of local unrest. On September 7th, Verus's legions, 30,000 strong, marched confidently into dense forests, guided by locals loyal to Arminius. That evening, Verus camped amid towering trees whose branches seemed to whisper dark omens in the wind. By dawn, the legions pressed on through rain-soaked paths, bogged down by mud and confusion. Suddenly, the forests erupted in violence. Arrows whistled through the trees, spears thrust from hidden foes, and the legionaries, strung out and vulnerable, fell into chaos. Arminius had betrayed them. The Germanic tribes, fighting fiercely, vanished into the shadows after each attack, leaving Romans bewildered and terrified. That night, Verus desperately ordered his wounded and baggage abandoned. Morale crumbled. Roman discipline, the strength of its legions, broke down as panic set in. The following morning, soaked and weary, they trudged onward, only to face repeated ambushes. The forest itself seemed alive, conspiring against Rome. In a final desperate act, Verus dispatched his cavalry northward to seek reinforcements. They never returned, annihilated by warriors clad in stolen Roman armor. Realizing defeat was imminent, Verus, burdened by shame and hopelessness, took his own life alongside his senior officers. Leadership passed to Lucius Aegius and Chaonius, brave but overwhelmed commanders. On September 11th, Aegius's forces encountered a deceptive earthen barricade. Trapped and exposed, they struggled desperately as Arminius's warriors closed in. Chaonius's forces, rushing to aid their comrades, were ambushed by Arminius himself, who emerged from the woods with terrifying force. The battle ended in utter disaster for Rome. Nearly all 30,000 legionaries were slaughtered or captured. Officers were ritually sacrificed, legionaries crucified against trees, or boiled alive in grim ceremonies. Their bones remained scattered among trees that whispered of Rome's greatest humiliation. In Rome, news of the massacre reached Augustus like a storm from the north. Overcome with grief and fury, the aged emperor paced his palace, repeatedly shouting, "Quintilius Varus, give me back my legions." Yet Rome did not forget. Future campaigns would attempt to reclaim their lost honor, but Germania remained forever unconquered, a haunting reminder of Roman vulnerability and of the treachery of Arminius, who had traded Rome's laurels for the fierce freedom of his people.